Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to present. Um, I guess what I'm going to be talking about today, a little introduction, kind of informed by my doctorate in essentially environmental resource economics, but also my involvement with Henry George School. I do work for the New York City government, so I'm not going to be speaking on behalf of those, but these are my personal views. Um, so I wanted to just read a few things. It's only going to be 60 seconds. My task today is to take part in a notion that everything is capital and ask why we tolerate such a perversion of intellectual thought. By that, I mean capital is merely one factor of economic production. In fact, it is the only factor out of three that is not essential to production. Take a person picking low-hanging fruit. Labor raises a hand and removes an apple out of the tree. The apple essentially is economically land. Production results in one apple. Capital only comes in when the intelligence of labor uses a ladder or a basket to create more wealth. I understand why the head of a firm may want to pervert this basic notion and call the apple picker and the apple capital. It is a smokescreen to hide the fact that they once mistreated workers and failed to properly steward the orchard. So perhaps production with three capitals is a course in CEO reform school, but there's no need to change the notion or the nation's school books for their unique failure. It is their problem that does not need our fixing. Labor, which humans need to be nurtured, allowed to create their own institutions, and be invited to share in reciprocal, trusting relationships. Only the laborer owns their labor. They are not anybody's assets. Likewise, the owner of land, the orchard, must pay society a reasonable resource rent for their privilege of keeping others out of it. And others have a duty not to enter the orchard. And society has the obligation to enforce these basic agreements known as institutions. And the rent in this way is the revenue that we use to pay for such things as police and environmental protection, healthcare, and those kind of things. So land is its own factor of production, and the rent obligation is what takes Homo sapiens out of the state of nature. We all know that the titans of industry will not do that, take humans out of state of nature while calling everything capital when there's no obligation to nature and people. There's a need for clarity, not obscuration. Remember, three unique factors of production: land, labor, and capital, not three factors of one kind. So that's my opening statement.